By the end of 2024, XRP could be worth as much as $1,650 to $2,900. It is rising very quickly. Get ready for a big break with your money. These claims aren't just unbelievable. They're based on a big event, the end of an XRP ETF. Take a look at this. BlackRock, a big financial business that made a Bitcoin ETF that did very well, is now using what it knows to help XRP. It's a big deal that BlackRock has moved into XRP because almost every ETF plan they've sent in has been accepted. But there's more. Some other people are also making waves. There's now something else in the game. Grayscale. They have not only called for an XRP ETF, but they have also added XRP to the list of cryptocurrencies they hold. XRP and Ripple Labs are becoming more important in the world of international business. You're back at the place where you can learn everything about XRP. Let's quickly catch up before we get to the meat of today's post. Could you please do me a favor? Press like. To join our great group, click the button, subscribe, and bell button. Also, just so you know, we're getting ready for a big XRP gift as we get closer to 60,000 members. To join the giveaway is very simple. Do these 3 simple things. And finally, make sure you're tuned in and ready to win the prize. After you post, don't forget to give MoneySide a code. Let's see what's new in the exciting world of XRP right now. A closer look at the numbers makes it clear that BlackRock is very good at accepting ETFs. BlackRock's move into cryptocurrencies and Web 3.0 changes the way standard banks think about digital currencies in a big way. BlackRock is the best at managing assets in the world. The fact that they have almost always approved ETFs shows how well they understand the stock market. Don't forget that BlackRock has an amazing 99.8% approval rate for ETFs. This makes them the strongest company in the world of ETFs. Take a look at the big view. XRP has not only been looked at by big banks like JP Morgan and BlackRock, but they have also been buying it. A report that came out says that these big companies have put more than 7.5% of their entire wealth into XRP. A recent story with a lot of research even said BlackRock might be shifting all of its attention from Bitcoin to XRP. This would mean a big change in how they spend their money. This shows that more people are interested in XRP, which makes the idea of a BlackRock-backed XRP ETF more possible. Ever. Things get even more interesting now, though. There is a new character in the XRP story. The XRP ETP is something that's cool. There is an ETP, but no one knows who made it. It is an important step toward an ETF. The XRP ETP is said to have been released, but it is still in the pre-release phase and has no value yet. It will be shown off soon, though. There's more now. Some people think that an XRP ETF could be released at the same time as the ETP. It makes sense to share these at the same time, and it also shows how quickly work is going on the ETF. It might come out right after a Bitcoin ETF. It's important to remember that Bitcoin went from $0 to $43,000 before its ETF started. This means that XRP has a lot of potential. When XRP's ETF comes out, its value could go through the roof, reaching $1,650 or even $2,500. Pay attention, this isn't as crazy as it sounds. An XRP ETF will be possible in just a few weeks, since the XRP is already live. Many people don't know this, but Fidelity, a big name in the business world, has made the XRP exchange-traded product public. This means that the start of an XRP ETF is coming up very quickly. It is likely that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission will give its okay soon. We even talked yesterday about a new piece that came out. A story from BlackRock that said an XRP ETF might be coming soon was the source of the news. This story showed that XRP was going to be filed as an ETF. The fact that a top BlackRock's expert said in public that a BlackRock's ETF would be launched made things even more exciting. That's only for XRP. In an ATF report, they even talked about Shoshana's XRP trust. It wasn't clear to me at first, but I checked it out, and sure enough, it's on the Delaware list of companies. There has been a big change in the market for XRP recently, maybe even bigger than the changes we saw with Bitcoin's ETF. This new development has made everything different. A new study shows that the world of crypto has changed in a big way. JP Morgan and BlackRock have both bought more than 5 million XRP, which shows that big businesses are getting into Bitcoin. BlackRock is ahead of the curve because they not only hold on to a lot of XRP, but they also use the XRP system in their business and are going forward with the launch of an XRP ETF to the public. A lot of people think BlackRock will accept the XRP ETF. This is something they've done almost every time. There are too many words to describe how much the value of an XRP ETF changes. This is why a $9,831 price target for XRP, while it may seem high at first, makes sense when you think about it. Take a look at all the important things that are going to happen soon. Check it out. XRP is getting ready to become a big player in global debt trades when you look at the huge amounts. The USDA is the key force behind the XRP ledger, which can handle anywhere from 1.80 cents to $1.3 quadrillion. The BRICS countries, including Saudi Arabia, are also adding the XRP platform to their systems at the same time. The XRP system is also being used by the Republic of Palau to build its own digital currency for its central bank. This is a common situation where there is a lot of demand, not enough supply, and a lot of traffic. It makes sense that each XRP coin would become very valuable. These days, this subject is getting a lot of attention. Some people think that the way I feel about XRP is only a dream. Okay, so maybe they're right, but let me say this. I really want to take this opium. I light it up and roll it up into a big ball while I take a deep breath. That's some really strong stuff. I really have hope. When things are bad and you're barely holding on, it keeps you going. It's okay if you don't believe in hope and think it's all just foolish talk. That doesn't bother me in any way. Help each other out. That's what I tell myself. You can't just drop pieces into a hole. That's how anything less feels. We're here to make things calm down. In the spirit of good things, I also love how interesting the talks are, and how it's important to question the ideas that everyone holds. It really challenges your thoughts. There was a good point made about groups in XRP. They don't have to buy XRP. You could also rent it. It's an interesting thought, isn't it? So I had a cool idea. What would happen if regular people were the only ones who bought XRP? I learned more about this, and even asked ChatGPT how many transfers happen on the SWIFT system every day. That number was over $7 trillion, which is crazy. Remember that this only looks at trade with other countries. It doesn't include the swaps market, which is worth quadrillions, smart contracts, NFTs, not fungible tokens, or tokenized assets like real estate. Now, think about how all of these things could use XRP. SWIFT works in international trade, so let's talk about that. Cut that 7 trillion in half. What do you think would happen if 1,700 people connected to XRP? Yes, XRP and Ripple have really set a high bar here if you can only handle $3 trillion of it every day. That would mean that the system would need to hold $3 trillion that day. If things go this way, XRP might be worth more than $1.50 per share. That's it. Value will go up for sure. It makes sense to think that some of the wide range of links in XRP will put money into it. Remember what we talked about before? Once the system is up and running, prices could go through the roof, even if institutions choose to rent instead of buy. This is very important if XRP controls even half of this market. It would cost a lot more than $1 per ticket if,